Hello everyone, this is Don Kingdom 362 and the future kingdom of 410, which is still in its inaugural gold event. And we're going to bring to you two new calculators. You saw the page. Well, they're not new calculators, but they are taking the spreadsheet that we had and making them so that your phone can work with them. And I broke them down because the questions I got back, the way my mind works versus the way other people's minds works. Like, well, what is this for? What is that for? So we simplified it down to their own individual calculators. We've got the original spine breaker. This is for player versus player interaction, UAC, KVK, joining up in rallies against other players and breaking their spine. All right. This is the WolfHunter. Now, I gotta caution you because I've seen people do this. In our kingdom, a lot of players use my calculator. I mean, all but one of the top 10 do. And that guy spent $4,000 last month. So it's not hard to beat my calculator if you spend that kind of money. But for the rest of us, these are the numbers we have to work with. So do not take your WolfHunter formation to somebody's castle or against another player. You will get your butt handed to you. All right. This is strictly for the Wolf event. This is so that you can get as much player EXP as is humanly possible so that you can get a higher ranking character. This is nothing more than formula. There is a competing calculator out there. I do about 0.3% better than they do, and that's about all. They had their math right. They were here before me. I shouldn't say they're competing with me. I'm competing with them. Math is what math is. It comes out to be what it is. So, kudos for them. Ours arrives at the numbers a little differently than they do, but the damage winds up being about the same. There seems to be somewhat of some hidden caps in there somewhere that playing around the formula doesn't matter much. Before you ask, I was like, well, the other guys ask us for our stats. Why don't you? Because that is called creating activity so that you think something special is going on. The only activity you need to come over here to do ours is plug in your information. All right. And boom, there's the numbers. No emails, no, would you let me spam you later about some game I'm developing, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to develop any game, just not going to happen. And then we've got the GateBuster. All right. Now I've separated the gate from the wolf because at some future point in time, we're going to be doing a little bit of different numbers with the gate because the wolf is a single hit and the gate is a rally. So what we're going to add into the GateBuster at some point is the number of players you intend to have in your rally. We have found that with using the numbers that you're seeing on the page right now, C30, normal build out, not crazy money spent, will do between 7 and 800K on a hit with a 2-man rally and do about 400K with a 5-6-man rally with a fully maxed out rally. So there seems to be a rally damage limit built in, how much one rally can do total damage. And I've heard rumors that there are C35, C36s in other kingdoms who have done 1.5 million hits, probably bring in a little C6 along with them or something. I don't know. So that he can gobble up all the damage of the rally. But I believe there's probably about a 1.5 million damage cap to a player versus environment rally strike. For the same reason that those rallies do not get buffs from your alliance in rally slots, which would make my life a lot easier as an R5 if the 15 slots that I bought with blood, sweat, and tears and tons of donations we could actually use during one of our events that we hold every 2 days. Hint, hint, Guns of Glory. it becomes kind of a. They need to revamp the underworld completely. They need to eliminate that cooldown. No one's jumping back and forth between alliances to run gates anymore. It's not a hard event. No one wants to share the loot. It's a pain in the butt. But when you do other things like KVK or UACs where you do have to do jumping around between alliances to help people out, you're crippling people for no good reason other than you're trying to cripple people because you think that people would jump from event to event to event to event. And I also would like to see it become a personal cooldown just like Night Siege is. All right, instead of it being a instead of it being like completely like Night Siege, so, I got developers who listen. That's why I'm talking to them right now. Instead of it being completely like Night Siege, where you have 3 things, and if you burn one, the whole alliance lost one, but the whole alliance didn't. Right? The R4s can open up a Night Siege if they've got a timer left, and so you can run 10 Night Sieges. It just each individual can only run 3. Same setup with the Underworld Gates would be nice, to where it cools down for 2 days, but the cooldown is on the individual and not the gate. So if I got 5 guys who are on at 3 in the morning who want to run a low-level UW just so that they can go get that done, let them do it. I don't know why we're trying to stop them by the restrictions of time anymore. I get it. A couple of years ago, that was probably the thinking, was people were hopping to help do gates on the insane levels. And right now with my calculator, the hardest level you got is not going to slow you down. Really, the thing that slows us down is rally slots, and time to get marches across the alliance. We would rather do smaller gates and let everybody get their parcels and grow through their hero stores and get their bounties and engage the game and content. Hint, hint, developers. Then have this restriction on time of when they're allowed to engage the game and content. So gate's one of those that we need to do a patch update on and make it a little more like Nightshade and make it an individual's cooldown. You can do a gate once every 2 days. Okay. Or you get 3 in 7 days, and you can do them all back to back if you want to. I'd be fine with that too. But as long as everybody in the alliance can kind of do what they need to do to do those gates. And probably number one pain in the butt in every alliance, keys. So get rid of the key thing. Make it go away. That's up the donation for alliance funds. Just double that amount and eliminate the keys. Okay. Got to do a trade-off there one way or another. So they need more alliance funds. The alliance funds aren't growing as fast as they used to. They patched it once before, and it's still kind of a problem. But anyway, there's the calculator. And like I said, we will be making some adjustments because I had some stuff that's based on the app that's going to be coming out, especially for these calculators. Now remember, on your phone, you won't see this bar. It'll just look like a black bar, and then you got a pull-down menu of a pull-down menu. But in the future here, when we go to the WolfHunter, we got people who want to learn to tune their accounts for their stats and get a little bit more out of it. I'm going to add some fields up here that will say 5%, where you get to say 5% less infantry, and then it will auto repopulate all your cavalry and distance and say 10% less artillery, whatever, or 20% more distance, and it'll repopulate the other fields in order to accomplish those tasks. That's where we're saying when we get into the app, we're going to have a lot more complicated math, more stuff for you to play with, and that way you can it needs to be database driven, because if you're making those kind of adjustments, it'd be nice if you made that adjustment and you got to come back and enter your damage number. Okay. And not just for us to see how well you're doing with our calculator, but for it to record for you which strike worked best for you. So please like, subscribe. There's our YouTube subscribe channel right there when you come and look at the calculator. Don't miss out on this stuff, guys. I deliberately gotten rid of the login requirement. I had to have it for a little while because I had somebody plucking my calculator and selling it as their own, and I mean literally selling it as their own. So we stuck it behind the login wall. I've got it out from behind the login wall. You can't steal this. It's integrated into the site at this point. So I appreciate everything you guys do. Please subscribe. That's the best payment you can give me. And a thumbs up is nice, and a nice nasty comment every once in a while about how you don't need no stinking freaking calculators. You got it all figured out without it. I appreciate it all. Thank you.